Turnovers are huge. You know, it's other than the score, it's the number one determiner of winning and losing in college football, and that's huge. That's where it's not so much the systematic drive, it's the points, it's the turnovers, it's all those things that really determine winners and losers.
We have time for a couple more in the back.
Coach,
Tea time.
What did you get from the non-conference schedule? Did you accomplish what you wanted to at this point? I mean, 3-0 obviously, but where do you see improvement necessary?
Everywhere. You know, again, everywhere. We need to throw a little bit better, catch a little bit better, protect. Run when we want to run, throw when we want to throw. Special teams, we have a ton of stuff that we can improve upon. Defensively, a ton of stuff we can improve upon. But that's, again, in the wake of a 3-0 start, and that's what matters the most.
Hey, Marcus, can you just talk about the play where I think everybody was holding their breath as you dove into the end zone, and what was going through your mind? And did you hesitate? Obviously, it didn't look like you hesitated on anything like that as far as like the risk of injury and those kinds of things, but can you just take us through that play?
Yeah, we started out, we wanted a kind of a big shot play. We ended up kind of having miscommunication, so the play was kind of messed up on the left, and I saw a scrambling to the right, and I just kind of went, and I came out thinking I was going to throw the ball to Keanon, but Keanon kind of turned and started blocking, and I just kind of took off, and I figured I was close enough to the goal line that I could try to jump in there, I guess.
The coach said he talked to you about jumping and those kinds of things.
Yeah, he told me right after I got off to the sideline to never do that again. So I'll take that as a warning.
Rick, back.
Will you not do that ever again, or do you think that maybe when the opportunity presents itself, instincts will take over?
You're right. If it happens that way, I'll just let my instincts take over. It's tough to, as a football player to kind of stop yourself from doing something. So obviously, if that kind of comes around again, I'll do whatever it takes to get that touchdown or whatever the team needs.
Helfrich pointed out for us as well that players like you just have to play, do what you do, and that they can't sort of reel you in. But it sounds like he told you never to do that again. But is it hard to think about that when you're playing, about your safety and just a player, right, making a play?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really think about those types of things because that's when you get hurt. My dad always told me if you play, with your mind about worrying or cautious, you play at half speed and you end up getting yourself hurt. So, I always take the warnings from the coaches, but I end up doing what I have to do.
Marcus, however, in the second half you did slide on one play and you did get out of bounds. Was that a factor of Mark being in your ear?
More or less. For the first one, I figured that there was really no more running lanes there, so I just kind of slid. And then the second play, I felt I couldn't get any more yards, so I just kind of went out of bounds. So that doesn't mean it was after a first down. So.
Steve, Marcus, second week in a row, kind of in-game, your line switched and had to shuffle due to injury. You notice kind of who's out there, any difference, or what's it kind of like for you when guys are kind of shuffling in and out?
It's always the next guy up. Coach Greenwood does a great job preparing each and every single one of those guys, and we have all the confidence in the world in those guys. Matt Pearson's been one of those guys that stepped up even during fall camp, and he played well today.
Jake, middle.
Marcus, it seemed like you kind of took the game over at one point early in the first half. Did you feel the need to take over the game and kind of put it all on your shoulders, or did it just come naturally to you?
Yeah, it just kind of came naturally. I just, I don't know. I just played within the coach's systems, wanted to execute what we had on for our offense, and just try to get in the rhythm. I thought as an offense we played well. I mean, aside from getting stopped on that fourth down in the first drive, we scored on pretty much every other drive.
Your last two first quarters have been a little bit slower than maybe you guys are used to. What kind of things can you gain from having to overcome a slow start in the middle of a game?
You said it best. It's good to kind of go through a little adversity. It's not always going to be easy. You got to fight through some things. It wasn't a factor that we weren't moving the ball. We went down in our first drive and got all the way down to the 2. For us, it's just kind of punching it in and finishing. And eventually we got to that, and we did a good job of executing in the red zone.
We have Farrell in the cubicles in the back. Tom?
Yeah, back here, Marcus. Johnny Loyd talked about his touchdown and how it was a different feeling than playing basketball. He also said you're the best quarterback he's ever played with. You deliver the ball on the money. You obviously watched him when he played hoops. Can you maybe give us your feeling about getting to throw him a touchdown pass and giving him that kind of feeling?
It was great. Just like everybody else on our team, I was excited. I was juiced for him. It was funny because you could tell when he scored, he wasn't sure what to do. He was kind of like, he was surprised. But that guy's put in a lot of hard work through fall camp. Coming in and not playing football for 4 years and now he's doing what he's doing. It's a special athlete to be able to do that. And it's fun playing with that guy, and it was great to see him score today.
Steve? Marcus, you've talked about how Dargan's gotten you a few times in camp. Nice to see him get the other guys too the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I told him, after his second one, I said, hopefully I won't throw you any more in practice. You're getting enough out here. So he's doing a great job. He's a great athlete. He makes plays like that all the time, and it's fun to see that guy execute like that.
Marcus, going back to the play where you flipped and stuff. Show us what you saw during that time. Are you seeing like skies and crowds and feet or what?
It happened so fast. Everyone kind of talked to me about it afterwards. I'm kind of used to kind of somersaulting like that. Growing up in the water, growing up in the ocean. I've had my fair share of somersaults from getting pulled down by a wave or something like that. So once I was in the air, I just kind of naturally tucked, and that's how I always have done it. So it didn't feel awkward or anything like that.
Matt Pearson is in there, right here, Austin.
Marcus, this was the most we've seen you run today so far this year. Has that just been a function of the game plan, you think, or is it sort of, do you look at running as kind of a last resort if there's nobody open?
For me, it's just when I'm scrambling around, I do look for guys that are open downfield. Wyoming did one of those things where they carried everybody. Once I got out of the pocket, they turn around and run with the receivers. So, the coaches always talk about once the defenders turn around, they don't have their eyes on you, and you can just kind of take off, and that's what happened to me.
Tom, a couple more for Marcus.
Marcus, you haven't been to Pullman. You've played the Cougars up there. You played them in Seattle a couple of years ago. What have you heard about Pullman and the environment there, and kind of what you're going to face on the field as well?
His brother played at Washington State, Nico, and he's always talked about how we have to be ready to get, ready to be prepared for anything, really. It's kind of a hostile environment, as he explains it. I haven't been up there before, but this is going to be our first road game. It'll be a true test for a lot of these young guys, but it'll be a lot of fun. I like playing in those types of atmospheres, and we're looking forward to it.
Last one for Marcus right here, Aaron.
Marcus, we all realize the next man up mentality, but if Jake is out for any length of time, you guys could be -3 offensive tackles, combined 12 years of experience. Is that concerning at all to you?
Injuries happen. It's part of the game, but with the amount of preparation that Coach Wood puts in, and this guy leading those guys up front, we'll be okay. I have all the trust in the world. A lot of those guys took snaps during fall camp with the ones, and they held their own. So I think we'll be fine.
Give you one more. Hands. Somebody requested him right back here.
Keanon, when you're blocking the DB, and did you hear or feel the wind or anything when Mariota sailed over your head into the end zone?
Yeah, that was a crazy play. I was kind of on the backside of that pass play, saw him rolling out, saw the space that he had, so I just turned around and started blocking. And I was expecting him to run me over in the guy or step out of bounds. And I hear the crowd go crazy, and kind of, as I'm blocking, I kind of look up and I see him doing a flip outside the back of the end zone. And, first thought that went through my head was, did he just jump over me? And good thing I'm only 5'9". Yeah, it was a crazy play. One of the best plays I've seen. So it was sweet.
Coach Greenwood's in the back. Anybody needs him right here?
Is there any concern when you see Marcus kind of expose his body like that and jump?
Yeah, I hope he never does that ever again, ever. I'm pretty sure a lot of I'm pretty sure all of our coaches don't ever want to see him do that again. It was pretty awesome though. But I'd rather have seen him run out of bounds at the 2 and take the ball first and goal. So that being said, it was an awesome play.
We got Keanon and Johnny Loyd now.
I got it back.
The back.
Yeah. Keanon looked at the first part of the game. Marcus had you pretty well dialed in for a couple of attempts. Did you see something in the Wyoming defense coming into the game that maybe indicated that you would be a bigger part of the opening drive or two?
I think it was just kind of the pass concepts we had put in all week just to attack the defense. There was a lot of the slot position me and Johnny play that we called a bunch of those plays early on, and I wish I would have came up with the ball on a couple of them right at the start. Felt like I had good opportunities to catch the rock, didn't come through on those. But you can always improve. Yeah.
Right here in the middle.
Talk about getting into the end zone for the first time in college.
Words can't really describe the feeling. Once I realized where I was on the field, I just kind of, emotions kind of took over, and I just started screaming. Felt good though.
Nice.
Keanon, I know you two worked a lot with each other this summer to kind of get Johnny up to speed for the football field. Just from your perspective, what was it like to see him get in there?
Oh yeah, that was the best part of the game for me. He went in, I knew he was going to have an opportunity to score a touchdown. Said a little something to him before he went out, and Coach Frost dialed up a play to get him open, and he ran a good route, and it was awesome to see. I've seen how much work this guy's put in. He's put in, the most out of anyone, on the team to get back to football speed and back to, he hasn't played since high school, and it's pretty impressive that he can just come in, technically as a freshman, on the football field from experience, and be able to compete and make plays. And he makes plays, all through fall camp and every day at practice. So it was good to see that in the game, and I was happy for him for sure.
We have Jeff Lockie and Alex Balducci in the professionals. Don't give the microphones to the reporters until I tell you to, please. We're going to go Tom here.
Johnny, back here, you talked about the feeling indescribable, scoring a touchdown. Can you maybe compare it to maybe some of your exploits on the basketball court, or does it compare? How does that play out in your mind?
It's a different type of feeling. I've hit, a good amount of shots, good amount of N1s and everything. This is my first touchdown in, 5 years, and first one at this level with, 60,000 behind you. So, it's a whole different type of feeling, but it definitely compares to, the feeling I had, after Pac-12 tournament. It compares to that, but it's completely different though.
Back.
Johnathan, Coach Helfrich said that there was a chance that maybe on the play before that they would be looking towards you. When you came back to the huddle and for the second snap, did you have a pretty good idea that they were going to come back to you, or did you think maybe your chances slipped away?
No, I had no clue. I don't never really think that a play is being called for me. I'm just trying to do my job out there on the field at that time. If I can, draw a defender to me, then I do that, help my teammates score. But, I never really thought, I'm about to score. Like, this is my shot. I was just going out there and doing what I was supposed to do.